Ben, you didn't like my Arthur Smith text?
Were you waiting for me to? He looks too much like me. Like that.
I told him to be Arthur Smith.
That stash is amazing.
That's a fair comparison. Very good comparison, actually. I'm going as Donald Duck, though. I spent $75 in a full Donald Duck suit. I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm going as a hot dog vendor, and Theo's going to be a little hot dog.
We got to get Big John on the episode with Big Ben so that it's like, because they kind of have a similar vibe. I want to like have him dress up like Big Ben and have them sort of talk to each other. I think it'd be a good little episode. We have a friend named Big John who has a similar vibe to you.
Okay.
Well, hello and welcome to week 7 of the NFL season. Last week in week 6, we saw the Niners lose on a last-second field goal.
Moody.
Oh, that was brutal. The Chargers lose again in a one-game possession game.
What else?
The Seahawks lose to a stingy Bengals defense in the second half. Did all the West Coast teams lose last week? Nope. The Raiders beat the Pats on a safety. Take that, you massholes. And the Rams beat the Cardinals, but everyone beats the Cardinals, so that's no big deal. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're a longtime listener, welcome back. Each week, we broadcast live on nofilter.net and Caffeine TV. During the football season, that's usually on a Thursday, and we bring in a very special celebrity guest to pick some winners, to banter, talk stats, and do it all. It's a pregame before you get ready for NFL Sunday. I'm K Winn, he's Big Ben, and he's Philip A. Ward. You know him from the Bay Area, where he was born and raised. Santa Clara University, where he was a star on the Broncos playing golf. LA, where he gave up his PGA Tour pursuit to take in a career in acting. And network TV, the big screen. You've seen his face. Super Bowl ads with Britney Spears, Budweiser, Clydesdale's, Puppy Love. He's done it all. Philip, welcome to the pod.
Amazing intro. Thank you. So happy to be here. Everything you said is 100% true. That is 2, not 1, but 2 Super Bowl commercials.
That's Britney in her prime too.
Oh, that's Pepsi Now and Then, Britney. That is prime time Britney. That's not shave your head, run for the fences, Britney. That's the real deal.
Is that pre-Federline?
I don't know the Britney timeline, but it's 2003. Like it's early.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's good. Yeah, pre-K Fed.
Cool. Happy to be here. Let's do it. Let's dance. Let's go.
What I'm excited most about this podcast is you're going to pick winners. But before that, I'm introducing 2 of my most degenerate gambling friends together on a podcast to talk about big winners. So this week, incarcerated Rashid has gone viral on the internet. Big Ben, have you seen this?
I have not.
It's this guy in jail dialing up winners. Mm-hmm. And he did a 16 parlay.
Yes.
He threw in a WNBA Liberty insertion into his, and picked the Jets just to win, which is like, I'm like, that's the wildest 6-teamer I've ever heard. 500 to win 16,000 makes bail. That's a great story. God bless him.
So we do not have incarcerated Rashid calling in, but we do have Phil Ward. And Phil, you're in like a 5-team pick'em, I believe, NFL. You're big into this.
Yeah, no, I like action. That's for sure. I've had some really good wins, and I've gotten my teeth kicked in like most gamblers do. I am in a weekly 5-game. It's called 5-game, and there's like 87 people in it, and it's $1,500 to buy in. So it's a little hefty, and you got to hit all 5 to win, and you win like $7,000 if you hit all 5. So if you can just win, and if there's multiple winners, you chop the pot. And so check this out. I played it all last year. I don't win a single week. I had 1 4-game winner. It's really hard to do because, again, a tie is a loss. So you end up not looking at the -3, the -7. You end up going to the 2.5, the 1.5, because that tie's a loss and it's a backbreaker. So all last year, I lost everything, every single week. That's terrible. This year, lose weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. I win week 5. Winner. Guess what? First time in the history of this 90-man league that 11 winners. 11 winners. $627. Cha-ching. I rang the bell. I finally did it, and 10 other dudes did it too. I mean, I can't make this stuff up.
Were they all the same picks?
No, and you could see it all kind of live and who's on what. I think one other guy had my whole setup, but it's all different, and so it was just 10 random winners. I mean, out of 90, and of course I was one of them that week. And if nobody wins, it carries over. So if it carries over 3 weeks, you're talking like 30 grand's on the line, and then they just split it. If 2 people win it, you split it. If you're the only one who wins it, you get it. Ooh. So it's a cool league. You guys are welcome to join. I can send you the invite. A lot of my friends have like 3 guys. You know, they're 2 brothers and their friend, and they huddle up and kind of hash it out every week. So it's awesome.
Please send me an invite. Can we pause the show?
I got Jags. I have Jags going right now. I picked them. So
who's this week? Who do you have?
I have
root for you.
I have really quick. I just want to make sure I get them all right. There's office pool. I have the Jags, so they're going right now. I don't know exactly where we're at on that one, but that is live, and I'm looking good.
You are.
I have my picks, really quick. Okay, Jacksonville. Okay, Baltimore at home -3. Yes, I said you should do 2.5, 1.5, but I really like Baltimore over Detroit at home. I got Buffalo -8.5 on the road in New England. I got the Kansas City Swifts. I got them -5.5, and I've got the Niners. Of course, my team is all day Niners. I got them -7.
Okay,
so that's my action. That's my 5-teamer. And the Jags. I mean, I think it's
don't jinx it. Game's not over yet.
I know, but I mean, I think it's like New Orleans -2.5, and they were up. Do we have a live update there?
Yeah, live update. New Orleans has scored. Taysom Hill took one in. Early enough.
Okay. 24-16.
Taysom Hill anytime touchdown.
Okay, I'm covering. Let's go. Let's finish it out. That's 1 down, 4 to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, I love the action. It's something fun to do every single week.
So you're a gambling man. I want to talk NFL MVP. So right now, Tua, Mahomes, and Josh Allen. I think those are the 3 favorites to win the MVP.
Okay.
If you're in Vegas right now, would you take those 3 to win the MVP, or would you take the field?
I take the field. I mean, I'm obviously biased to the Niners. I realize a running back hasn't won since like Adrian Peterson in 2000 and forever, but I think CMC's got to be up there. I've never seen anything like it on the field, and I think it needs to be recognized.
I'm with you. I'm also biased. That's why I'm wearing this hat. But other than McCaffrey, I think Burrow could get hot and win the North, and also a sleepy pick. I mean, if touchdown Trevor wins the division, maybe the Eagles falter a little. Maybe Mahomes, I don't think he's going to win it again because they're just not going to give it to him back to back. So I agree with you. I would take the field as well.
I just don't think Kansas City's playing that well either. Like, I haven't been that impressed with their offense so far. Obviously, they can click and they can put up a ton of points in a hurry, but they seem disjointed right now. I know Kelsey was hurt, but I call them the Kansas City Swifts. I don't know why you guys call them the Chiefs. I don't know. They're the Swifts.
We're not buying into that narrative.
Dude, Taylor Swift needs to be on the sideline. They need to get her a headset, either pom-poms or a headset and clipboard. Like, she should be next right there. Yeah.
Like, go from a 10 to a 12 real quick.
Yeah.
Who do I like for MVP? It's too early, in my opinion. You can forecast, but
would you take those 3 or would you take the field?
It's literally who doesn't this year. It's going to be who doesn't get injured. Like, who's still standing? Who's not on crutches? Who's I mean, Jared Goff, I don't know. The Lions make the playoffs and he throws for 42, 100 yards and over 30 TDs.
He does look
sleeper
good.
pick. He's a snoozer pick. But I mean, you look at, I mean, if touchdown Trevor, if he leads them to an AFC title, there might be mentions, but you got to be on a winning squad. And I think Burrow is too fragile. I think Mahomes has played out.
Now I have a dumb question because I'm not a super expert like you guys. Does the MVP end at the end of the regular season, or does it carry on into the postseason? The sort of writers voting, I'm assuming.
Okay,
it's supposed to end at the end of the regular season, but some of the writers get a little swayed, in my opinion, on stuff that happens in the postseason, and they might change their picks a little bit. But it's just supposed to be the regular season.
Makes sense. Okay.
I like that Jared Goff, though.
That is a sneaky call. I do like him, from not liking him on the Rams to him sort of reinventing himself on Detroit. It's been pretty impressive because, a lot of these guys, they're a franchise quarterback. They get dealt or they leave or team doesn't want them anymore. And it's like, that's it. It's over. And for him to reboot on the Lions is pretty impressive, actually.
We talked about the Detroit being America's team. Like, for some time you looked at, like, I feel like there's a pull from the Chiefs to bring in every female, fan to the Chiefs effectively. But America's team is like this underdog team that no one's talked about. Detroit's been, tore down. So there's a storyline for you. I'm a big storyline guy. Like, if there's a storyline that plays out, Jared Goff MVP, I could see it.
Here's a storyline for you. Over his last 17 games, the intern just texted me real time, live. Hats off to our intern. Over his last 17 games, Goff has thrown for over 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So if he can duplicate something like that over the regular season this year, he might win the MVP.
And yet I have Baltimore in my parlay beating Detroit. I might, you guys, I think I'm going to change that all of a sudden.
All right. We through with the betting segment because I got some questions for Phil.
Go ahead.
All right, Phil.
Yeah.
I was thinking through this as I was watching your commercial highlights. You know how they say that all athletes want to be a commercial actor or an actor in commercials? And then
all athletes want to act in commercials?
Correct. And then all actors in commercials want to be athletes.
I haven't heard that, but if that's what they say, then I love it.
I think that's what they say. I've heard that. So who would play you in sports? Could be it could be EuroLeague soccer. We'll accept that too.
Yeah. And what's the sport?
Yeah. It doesn't. I'll give them liberties: football, baseball, basketball. Who would play you out of those entire sports in commercials moving forward, where you would be like, okay, that guy's good representation?
This is sadly a guy I can't stand. I can't stand his face, and I couldn't stand him on the football field. Jay Cutler would be. I think he is the guy. I mean, I just got to kind of dope up my eyes a little bit, and we're sort of, spitting images of each other. So, I mean, I'm all about self-deprecating, but this is actually a match. So,
Okay.
I'd like to say, someone who's a little more polished, but sadly, that's my guy.
Next question. Are you familiar with Chris Hogan?
Chris Hogan, yeah. Who's Chris Hogan? Remind me again. I do know who that is.
So Chris Hogan came to stardom on Hard Knocks when he was with the Miami Dolphins. And
is he a wide receiver?
He is. And someone had called out, Reggie Bush actually called out, and he goes, Chris, you are always open. And then they coined him 7-Eleven.
Okay.
Do you recall this?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Phil, I've met you in person maybe twice. Okay. But every time I've experienced you, you're always on. You were like always on. But no. I couldn't come up with a symbolic thing like 7-Eleven to tie to always on. So what would that be? I don't know.
Motel 6. You know,
There
we'll
you
leave the
go.
light.
Yes.
We'll leave the light on for you,
Motel 6.
right?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. The clapper, you know, just clap, and I'm like a dancing monkey, like do, 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 do. Yeah. You can call me Motel 6. Do it. We'll leave the light on for you.
I love it. All right. And then the last thing I'd like to say, it is apparent in this room, before we get in the picks, that the energy is down.
Oh,
Well, charisma is down.
oh, gee.
You 49ers fans, you know what was amazing as a Seahawks fan, as well as not this team's fan? Two of the worst fan bases in both college and NFL sports lost last weekend in the same manner. Oh, it was great.
Eagles and Niners.
No.
What are we talking about?
USC?
No. Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
The worst fans of all time. I was at that game.
You're saying the Niners have a terrible fan base?
You're not a terrible
He's a
fan base.
Seahawks fan. That's why he's saying
If you
that.
guys lose, you don't go to work the next day. It's like, oh, I can't go in. We lost. You know.
All right. Well, we might be a mopey, like very set the bar high fan base, and we
You're
might
just like Oregon. Like if we don't win the national title, we stink.
Yeah. You know, there's something to be said for having an elite fan base. I wouldn't say we're terrible though, because man, that Pittsburgh game that we had, the opening, I think that was our first game of the year in Pittsburgh. Yeah. It was like a Red Sea. I couldn't believe. And Pittsburgh has the greatest traveling fan base. Granted, they're at home, but I was blown away to see, you know, when Juszczyk would get the ball, that half the stadium was yelling juice, and there's a couple shots, stills of just nothing but red around the end zone. And I actually think the Niners, I look at a fan base as like who travels.
Yeah.
And so to me, Pittsburgh's a great fan base, maybe not anymore. And it's also, if your team's terrible, who's going to get on a plane or drive a car to go somewhere to watch them get killed? So I think it's a byproduct of a team being good, not fair weather. But I hear what you're saying. The Niner fans are a little we get very dejected quickly when things start going left.
Yeah.
If we don't win a Super Bowl, we're pissed. Like, people hate Garoppolo because like he missed a couple throws. It's like, hey man, that guy was a winner. Like, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. So they need to cut him some slack, I think.
Jimmy G slack. I like those. That's all I had for you guys. I just needed the lift and energy. It's okay. CMC is going to recover. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I'm with you.
Tebow's going to be fine. Brock Purdy's still Joe Montana. Just he's on that trajectory.
That's right.
There is
it's his first loss in the regular season.
I'm going to call Brock Purdy Mr. Linear. He's just going to be up and to the right at all times until he just oversteps Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, you know, and then by next year he'll be past Tom Brady in terms of all-time greats.
He might be in the Hall of Fame by next year.
They might just early vote him. They might just do it. And even though I hate the Seahawks with a passion, and I hate Pete Carroll more than life itself, I actually like their team. Like I like Geno Smith. I like Walker. I like you guys have a backup. It doesn't get any touches. He's on my fantasy team, and I'm like, can we get to see what this guy can do? And then the guy who confuses me is DK Metcalf, where like I see him. Remember that was either last year, or the year before, when he ran down a cornerback on a pick six, and it was like out of nowhere he just turned on afterburners. And I'm so confused why he isn't a more elite wide receiver.
He's not a great route runner.
He's not like a juker. He's a run through you guy.
He just go routes. That's all he does.
Yeah. People question why DK put more effort in that one play than he has any other play where he's actually trying to score touchdowns.
Oh, interesting.
And he's just an anomaly. He's polarizing. You sit there and you go, this guy he's huge. But you're right. Like he's in between two things. He believes he can still run routes crisply and you know, get separation. But in reality, what he truly is kind of your throw it up, you know, outmatch someone on a corner or one-on-one, but he's in between. And he's a phenomenal athlete.
He's got like Megatron size. You know what I mean?
He does.
He's like a Randy Moss height, but he's not that build. it's like, why doesn't he get one-on-one, go jump up and get it? I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't have 200 yards and 4 touchdowns a game.
If Jared Goff was his quarterback, this is in all honesty, he'd be 1,400 to 16 and 10 touchdowns.
That's what I feel like he should be, instead of 600 yards and 2 TDs.
Gino's controlled the game. He doesn't have all the throws, and Russ was just run around and chuck it up. So
yeah,
I think it's a product of his quarterback. If DK was on, name another quarterback, really. If he was on the Niners, he'd be.
No, I know what you mean. If someone could extend plays and give him a little more time to separate, you're right. Yeah. I think it would be get him in space would be a good thing. Right now, he can't get in space.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of it has to do is like NFL offenses have changed. Like he's almost like a wide receiver from like 5 or 10 years ago. Like look at the best wide receivers like Devontae Adams, Jefferson, like Hill,
Tyreek.
Like they all move around in the slot. They're inside, they're outside. He's just like a one-trick pony. And if he's not getting the ball, he just sits there and complains. He doesn't block. He doesn't do anything except
to your point. So when they have like cornerbacks, they shadow, right? And effectively, they know where DK is going to be, and he's only got 2 to 3 moves, right? And so, when you're a smart corner, you're going to defend against those 2 to 3 moves. It makes your day pretty darn easy, unless you're 5'6", 140 pounds. DK will have a field day with you, but if not, he's going to have a tough go of it.
Let's just hope the 3 of us never run into DK in an alley and he listens to this podcast.
Yeah, he would not like my hot take. I'd love to hear his answers though to some of these hard-hitting questions, like why aren't you better?
Let's get him on the pod.
Yeah. I'll send an email tomorrow.
All right. Do you want to let Phil know what he's up against?
I will. So Phil and listeners, this is the best part of the show. This is the highlight of the week. This is the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl. We bring on a special guest to pick 10 winners. Straight money line, no points, no spread. You just have to pick winners. And we have a leaderboard. And at the end of the year, if you are number 1, you will receive a trophy. But we've also upped the ante this year. Big Ben doesn't even know this. Our CFO doesn't even know this. We are going to treat the winner to a round of golf in Half Moon Bay.
Ooh.
What's that golf course, Big Ben?
It's the 2 golf courses connected.
2 golf course, the old course, which is amazing. And then you have the ocean course, which is like link style. And yes, it's like 32 minutes from my house. I mean, I got to win this thing. It's a layup.
Yes, Phil will actually cook the books so that you do win because
there we go.
Much.
Let's go.
So we do have a trophy and now it's 36 holes, a weekend in Half Moon Bay. So are you ready, Phil?
I'm ready. Is it? Am I like on the clock? Like, do I have to do it fast?
No, Phil, you got all the time you need. But I will say this week is tough.
It is.
You're actually right on the note. Like every game is 2.5 except for 4.
It's ugly. Oh.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's a really tough week.
Okay, but we have confidence in
scrap something together.
Luckily, I already have the Jags, so we got one in the bag.
Nope, they're not on the board.
Okay, they're not on the board. They got pulled.
They got pulled because we're podcasting during the game.
Why are we only picking 10? Why aren't we picking like every single game?
It was a COVID rules where we started this in COVID and we didn't know if all the games were going to complete. So we did 10 and then we just got lazy and we just kept 10 games because we liked the number.
Just rule out like the 3 I hate and not even talk about them.
But we couldn't, in all honesty, we couldn't do, I don't know, is it 16 games a week because of bye weeks?
Because of buys, like
odd number.
15, yeah.
So there's always 10 games. That's the
okay, cool. 10 games.
All right.
Phil, you got to get to 8 to win. 7 to tie.
Okay.
All right. So the first game here, we have Cleveland at Indy.
Love it. I'll go first. I'll take Cleveland.
You lead every time, Phil.
You lead every time. We're just going to sit here and tell you.
Who am I competing against? Myself?
No, you're competing against all the celebrities we've had on the show throughout the year.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
We're gonna tell you.
I saw
how
last
good or
week
bad your picks are.
Who, by the way, was awesome. That guy like really knows his stuff. So we're going to like Idiot Village from a dude who's like on like the NFL Network. So it'll be interesting.
He only got 6.
He only got 6.
All right, so I got Cleveland. I love their defense. I think it might be one of the best in the NFL. Anyone that can put Purdy in a pretzel, they're going to have no problem with Indy. I know Jonathan Taylor's back, but I don't care. Cleveland. I got Cleveland there.
Great pick. Great defense.
Okay, this game, this Buffalo doesn't have to go too far to get into Foxborough. Here's one thing I could see happening. You guys remember Lou Piniella and how he got traded from the Mariners? I could see Bill Belichick forcing a trade from the Patriots at some time soon. Like that, the organization's in that dire straits. Mac isn't the answer, and Buffalo is Buffalo again this year. Like they win the games they should, and then lose the games they should.
That's my strongest pick at the top of my list is Buffalo over New England for sure. Yeah. That's definitely in there. I mean, that's it. I know there's this term trap game, which I'm still not sure what it means, but there is just no way on the face of the earth New England's going to beat Buffalo.
Here's my hot take. Like Phil Ward after a big night out in Vegas, the Pats have hit rock bottom. But there's only one way up. This is my super dog. I like the Pats here. The Bills struggled against the Giants, and the Giants are god-awful. I think Belichick is going to scheme something up on defense. My super dog, Pats. I
kind of like it. I like the bold call. I mean, it happens every week. Why not here?
I could see that, K Winn. That's a theory that could play out just in the fact that Josh Allen is, I mean, Bill Belichick could bait him all day, and Josh would probably take it.
I think New England has to do it like a complete and total gut job. Like all staff goes, rebuild. Like this might be, I mean, this reminds me of the Patriots before Belichick showed up. I mean, this is bad.
Yeah.
I agree. Foxborough. Boston fans, can they shift? Where do they go? They go Bruins this time of year?
Yeah, and Celtics.
Yeah. And Celtics. Yeah.
All right, what's next? The Swifts? Swifts over Chargers and the over? It's going to be a lot of points in that game.
We got your favorite game, Detroit at Baltimore. Money line.
Okay, yeah. I just think Baltimore's really tough at home. I just think they play differently. They play differently there. They play different there. They play some serious hard football. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bought into Baltimore because they've been good for such a long time. Maybe they're not. I know their running back situation's a major problem, and Lamar is either like on or off. But I don't know. I think they punched Detroit in the mouth.
Wow, you're going against the MVP, Jared Goff.
Yeah. Another guy who could possibly play me in commercials. Him and Cutler have that face that you just want to punch. So, they're right there, neck and neck. It's like I'm like I'm like two of them smashed together with like some Phillip Rivers in there.
Well, this guy,
I'd be Dan Marino. Okay, go ahead.
This next guy has a pretty face, but he's actually not playing in the game. We've got Raiders in Chicago playing the Bears. No Jimmy G.
Yeah, no Jimmy G. I kind of like that backup. I lost his name because I'm not a super pro, but
it's either Hoyer or some other rookie guy.
No, it's not Hoyer. It's
Aiden O'Connell.
Yes.
But they might go. I did hear they might actually give Hoyer. I mean, Hoyer has been I can't even believe when I hear that he's on a team, I'm almost like, what? Like, it's like he's probably like a QB coach that they're like, hey, dude, you might throw him a helmet this week. Like, that's what I feel like he is. He was in a game for the Texans where he threw like 5 straight pick sixes. It's like, you got to Google it. It's like unbelievable. It's like 5 in a row, like to the house. Okay. All right. It's all right. Hey, guys, come back out. All right. To the house. And hey, let's settle down. 21-0.
So are you picking the Bears then?
No, I'm not.
Warrior?
Fields isn't playing either. So this game, I love the under. And by the way, really quick betting story. Apparently, all the unders have been hitting. So you'll see this week they like squeezed them all down, which probably means the overs are going to hit. But apparently, the on the season, the unders have been doing really, really well. But this game is going to be 3-0. This is the biggest pillow fight. This is going to be the biggest pillow fight in the history of the NFL. It's going to be. Yeah, they should just have the field goal kickers like kicking against each other. Like, hey, you bang a 70-yarder, I'll try a 72-yarder. I'd rather watch that.
Like a Pro Bowl skills edition, just put
Totally.
the skill play.
Just like all the other guys, like, hey, like safety first, everybody sit down. Let's just have a kickoff and like move on.
Well, you know who's not winning MVP? Desmond Ridder or Baker Mayfield. But yeah, they're playing each other this week.
Yeah, another.
I think NFC South needs to, like, didn't Tom Brady win the Super Bowl when they went 7-9 or something like that? Or is that a year prior?
I don't know. Good call. I know what you're talking about.
The year they won the Super Bowl, they had a good record, but I think last year they were pretty bad and they won the South.
Yeah.
It's the only division where you can be a 500 team and you can make it to the playoffs.
Punch your ticket.
Also, the only division that I think would finish third in the Pac-12 this year.
I will say should be the all-uniform game. K Winn, is this the all-uniform bowl for you?
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Because the bowl slick, but John Robinson has not delivered. Just let him out.
It's just another game that is going to get limited viewership, and Tampa Bay -2.5. I have Tampa Bay at home. When it gets into this, where it's like two teams where I'm like, oh God, I'm just like home team. Like maybe the crowd, maybe the 12th man actually affects this game. So I'm going to go with that.
All right. We've got Pittsburgh coming to LA to play the Rams in SoFi.
I got Rams. I think the Rams are starting to kind of figure it out and right the ship. Yeah, I'm on Team Ram. Pittsburgh's a mess.
Do you feel like Pittsburgh is on the same trajectory as New England? Like longtime coach, he's basically bought, his lifetime coaching. He can coach there however long, but it's just played out. Like everything's like let's bring in a hometown guy, Kenny Pickett. They're like, yeah, that's awesome. And then he stinks. Like he is not good.
But I think the personnel on the Steelers is better. I'd rather have Pickett than Jones. I'd rather have Najee and Jalen Warren than Ezekiel Elliott and Stevenson. I'd rather have Pickens than Juju Smith-Schuster.
Well, yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is they're marginally better with better, players. Like Najee Harris, people thought he was going to come in and tear the league apart. He hasn't done diddly.
Well, that rookie year he did, and I don't know what happens. Like, do guys get paid? It's like Tony Pollard. I thought he was going to have 250 yards and 4 touchdowns every game, and he hasn't done anything. And I'm like, wait. I was used to be mad that Zeke would get touches because every time he touched, he'd rip off 30 yards, and then they get their payday maybe, and they just kind of phone it in. I don't know. Stevenson,
I think it's Mike McCarthy in Dallas. He's calling the plays. I think that's the biggest difference this year.
Yeah, he's cross-eyed, so that's his issue.
Up here in Seattle, the Cardinals, I don't know. I think who's playing running? Mike Allstott's starting at running back for the Cardinals this week. The Cardinals feel like the AAA team of the NFL, but somehow they're playing mildly okay. They underpromise.
That's because everyone overlooks them.
Yeah,
well, Kyler Murray has been like activated and he's like a go, but the guy who's throwing now, Dobbs, is that his name? He's not bad, right? Like he's been getting it done. And yeah, Connor's down and they've got 2 backups that are no one knows who the heck they are. They didn't do anything last week. They killed everybody on the waiver wire. And who do I have in that game? Not the Cards, that's for sure.
Okay.
Who are they playing?
Process of elimination, Seattle. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm on Seattle. I've got it here. I'm looking at
look at that.
My pick
make
list.
Sure you publish that one.
And that's a big one because that's Seattle -8. So like that, when we're just picking winners, it's like Buffalo, Seattle, Kansas City, San Francisco. Those are the strong ones, and then it gets weird.
I'm calling this game the battle of third place in the NFC West.
Oh.
Wow. And I'm going Seahawks too. Love taking shots at Big Ben Seahawks. All right, moving on. We got Chargers in Kansas City playing the Swifties.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, Kansas City, I've got them because the Chargers are just they lose the same way every single week. It's like for like 3 years. And I can't believe it. It's like it must be just horrific coaching. Some of the play calling and the fourth quarter turnovers for that team when they're up 3 or 7 is off the charts. And I think, yeah, the Swifts are gonna just get Swifty with it. And I like the over.
I'm calling Brendan Staley the Gabe Kapler of analytics for football. I mean, all he does is look at analytics and make a read. And we saw what happened to Gabe Kapler. I'm not picking the Chargers. I'm picking the Chiefs. And it's not anything to do with like the week. They're playing the defending Super Bowl champs. It's just because Brandon Staley, I don't believe in him, and I don't think the players believe in him. I still have Kellen Moore. He's going to be the new coach by week 9. I called that like 2 weeks ago. I'm sticking by that, Big Ben.
I agree with you. I think Kellen Moore will be a head coach here soon. Here's who Zach Taylor and Staley are. I see them as one and the same. I think they started coaching around the same time. And I honestly, if I look at Cincinnati and, Herbert and Burrow, okay, pick one, you book Herbert with Higgins and Chase, then, and where I'm going with this is I think you're right. It comes down to coaching, and Staley just can't figure it out. They don't like his playbook ends at like the 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Then he doesn't know what to do. Like, oh crap, we're winning. What do I do?
He doesn't understand momentum. Momentum is a huge deal. And you can't just go off the sheet. You got to kind of read the room, dude.
Exactly.
And he doesn't manage the clock. There's like a long list. There's too many penalties. The scheme he's a defensive coach. They have one of the worst defensive in all of football.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, does anyone really care? Because it's the Chargers. So their fan base is done. Okay. Game of the week by far and away.
Well, I would say Niners every week is the game of the week.
No, far and away the game of the week.
Eagles.
Oh.
Ooh. So is this a bounce back game then for the Eagles?
Yeah, this is a bounce back game. This is at home. And
so you don't believe in the trap game, but you believe in the bounce back.
I believe in I just don't really understand the trap game.
The trap game, here it is.
Like
you're so focused in on the next week that you can't get prepared for this week.
Okay.
And so it traps you.
It was like a gambling term. Like this is a trap. Like the line isn't right. And it's everyone think. I see what you're saying. The trap game is they're all looking ahead and they they fall asleep at the switch when they play the Browns because they're just like, we're off Browntown. We're out of here. Okay.
We're going to dumb down the playbook and just try to ride one out.
I like the over Philly Miami game. I think they're going to get after Tua, and I think the defense is good. And I think the Miami show kind of hits pause here. I don't have I have the CBS thing where you pick the winners. That's what I'm referencing. I have this at a 2 confidence, and you go 1 to 13. And you kind of pick confidence. So this is my least confident game aside from Denver and Green Bay.
I actually like that because Tua's had all the time in the world, great protection. The Eagles are going to get after him with Reddick and Jalen Carter if Jalen's healthy up the middle. I'm with you on that. Big Ben, are you doing a 10-team parlay on Phil's picks?
I will be doing it. And this is one I do oftentimes hedge a little bit where I'll pick out a few that I believe could go either way, and this would be one of them. So I'll do, a true 10-way, and then I'll flip a couple picks, and this would be
yeah. I like that call.
You hedge, you hate to miss one, right, or 2. Like if you miss 3, you miss 3. You weren't gonna.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad call.
Like this is a game I think, like, if you script it out, it's 31 at the end of the game, and you're going to OT.
I was going to say at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, that could be true too. Mike McDaniel, I think he's probably going to win Coach of the Year if they continue on the trajectory they're going. He's an awesome story. He's the anti-Staley, that wave of coaches. It's in Philly. That's a tough game.
That's a tough place to play. I like it. Miami, like, 75 degrees, sunny, fast field, like in the dome, like good night. You put them in Philly, and
Tyreek Hill could end up in the first row.
This is why I went with Baltimore, Detroit. It has like kind of a similar kind of tone to it. Like hostile environment, good defenses. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the Eagles fans, after the game, they're going to party on South Street and get ready because they got a World Series game the next day.
Ooh, the town is going to be
a big weekend in Philly.
A big weekend.
Can I just tell you one thing that's played out? New Orleans came back to tie the score at 24 with about 3 and 3.
Oh no!
But
no, it's not. It's 31-24.
Touchdown. Trevor just threw a 44-yard ripper to Christian Kirk. So
yes,
this game could be. We might need to go live to the game at some point.
Let's get this last pick in. So Monday night.
Last pick. You go.
We've got San Francisco at Minnesota. I think I know who you're going to pick, but I'll give you a chance.
Yeah, I mean, again, bounce back game. Vikings kind of always play the Niners sneaky tough. I don't know what it is. And I might be wrong. The stats might not reflect that, but it's just something I've always sensed over the years, going back a long time watching the Niners. So I'm always a little worried, but I'm not actually worried. Madison, who I thought was going to be an incredible running back when Dalvin Cook left, has not done anything, and he's on all my fantasy teams. Obviously Jefferson's out. So yeah, I mean, I think the Niners right the ship. Hopefully Debo plays, CMC plays, and hopefully we're up 21-0 at the first quarter, and then you sit all those guys. But we will see. But yeah, I feel like the Niners, this is like must win for them, like mentally.
All right. Well, if for some reason this ends in a tie, we have a tiebreaker, and it is the Monday night over-under. Monday night is 44 points. How many points are you predicting this Monday night?
And what's the Monday night game one more time?
That's this one, the Niners versus the Vikings.
Okay. Sorry. I'll take the over.
No, you gotta pick the points.
Oh, I got you. You're right. I even have it down here at the bottom. I went with 42 points, which is probably the under now. You just said the over under was 44.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm saying 42.
All right. So here's who you got. Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore, Las Vegas, Tampa, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle, Kansas City, Philly, San Fran. I'm going to flip 2 games, the Philly game and the Baltimore game, just so we cover our
good call. You know what? I'll do the same bet. I'll do the same exact bet.
And then all 3 of us will split the pot when you guys put those tickets in?
Sure. 100%.
You got to come to Seattle, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, so collect your money.
All right, Phil.
I hope we're playing golf with you.
Yeah, let's do it. Love to. Let's go, guys. I love it.
Thanks for coming on the pod. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Our listeners have been clamoring for you to come back for 2 years now since your NFL Draft Day episode. And we finally got you back.
Yes. I have so many commitments. It's just been
Didn't you draft from a Mexican restaurant? I think you did.
Yeah, I did. I did do a draft from a restaurant. This is true. I was at Milagros with the family. I joined the Zoom. There was some kids crying in the background. It was fine.
I think my wife was like, "Why are you laughing so hard?" I'm like, "This guy is doing a draft from a Mexican restaurant. And I can hear him get more chips, or something along those lines."
I just remember looking at my wife like, "It's like you had to do this now." I'm like, "Yes, we had to do it now. Like there is no other option." It's great. That's great.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show at Big Ben K Winn _ at Big Ben K Winn _ Instagram, TikTok, X, wherever there's social media, we're on it. Also, we broadcast live each week, nofilter.net, Caffeine TV. If you're more of an audio podcast person, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, iHeart, we're everywhere. And we're out.
Boom.
Boom.
See you,
Thanks,
Phil.
Good job, guys.
Be good.
Super fun. Thank you.